So my right elbow is absolutely a mess. A few months ago, I was just messing around with a buddy, showing him some wrestling moves, and he body locked me right down into a wooden deck. Probably shouldn't have been doing that in the first place, but we did. And hit my elbow kind of hard. And ever since, it's kind of just been a little inflamed, hurt a little bit. But then I made it a lot worse. I have some rings back there, and I was trying to do like front levers and stuff like that, and it just made it way worse. So now it hurts to bend it, move it when I do Jiu Jitsu, and it's just unfortunate because it's keeping me off the mat. And I just want to keep getting better. So kind of going back into my college days, I never got too hurt wrestling in college. The worst I had was probably like a small rib injury when I got tossed one time and just landed on it weird. And other than that, maybe just some like small little like knee pains and things, but nothing severe, no ACL tears or anything. And the way we kind of handled it in college was you always had to still grapple through the injury depending on what it was. Like if you tore your ACL or something, you're off the mats. But let's say like you hurt your rib, maybe you're just doing light flow wrestling, doing what you can where it's pain-free. And that's kind of been my approach to dealing with this elbow for the last few months. So the way I really like to think about it is, most people see injuries as setbacks, but they're actually opportunities to refine your game. And then they're opportunities that force you to find ways to keep improving even when things aren't perfect. Things don't need to be perfect if you have some G.R.I.T, grit. And this is an acronym that I recently messed around with and really liked for dealing with injuries. And I just wanted to really take this video to break down that approach. So the first one is Grapple Smart. So pretty basic. I like to keep things really simple, but what does that mean? So Grapple Smart is don't stop training, modify it. Drill with a dummy, watch tape, or do technique you can handle. Buy a brace if need be, stay in the game. So for me, there's nothing worse, and I'm sure for you guys watching, there's nothing worse than just forgetting everything you've learned over the last few months doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling because you've been sidelined with an injury or some other reasons. And then you come back and it's like, oh man, I got to relearn all that stuff. I'm feeling rusty. Nothing worse than that. Although a break is good every now and then, I would say. But if it's multiple months, then it's not as great. So you don't need to do that. You need to keep training, whether it's just doing solo drills at home. If you have a mat, you don't even need a wrestling mat. Whether it's using a dummy and just practicing technique on the dummy. Whether it's just watching, BJJ Fanatics, some of my wrestling instructionals, some other ones, whatever it is, and practicing some of the basics. You can do all that stuff. And just watching sometimes really helps, because if you watch enough instructionals and tutorials on the things that would really help your game, when you go back into rolling, you'll start to notice those patterns and it'll just click that much quicker. So it's just really, you can't go wrong. There's no excuse to not continue to get better. And grappling smart really means if you are going to keep grappling and doing stuff with the dummy or doing easy rolls or just technique at the gym, just doing stuff that is completely pain-free. It should not hurt. If it does hurt, don't push through it. There's no egos here. Drop the ego. Just be smart and let your injury heal. Another thing you can do is you can get a brace. So I like Anaconda's FightWear's elbow brace. So I've been wearing this. Anytime I do some lifts that might be, a little intense, so maybe like kettlebell swings and stuff like that, where it's like more cardio based, higher intensity. And also if I've just been rolling, at the gym, I'll throw this on just to give me a little extra support. And it's helped a lot. I haven't gotten re-injured, and my elbow's been healing. It's been a few months, so it's been a very slow process, which is frustrating, but it is getting better, which is great. At the end of the day, don't just sit around, grapple, and do something. So you don't forget everything you've learned, and just so you can keep progressing and getting better. So that was the G, Grapple Smart. The next one's R, Restore Movement. So this one's super simple. Move the injured part pain-free to get blood flowing, restore function over time. So we kind of already hit on this a little bit with Grapple Smart, but if you just sit around and you don't do anything, not only do you lose some of the technique you've learned and some of the positions you've worked on, you also just don't bring blood to the injured area. And in order for injuries to heal, we need to bring blood to it, we need to bring nutrients to it, and it's just a huge part of recovery. So move around, do pain-free movements. So for instance, I saw on YouTube there's this PT guy who's helped people with elbow bursitis, which is, I'm pretty sure what I have. I haven't gone to a doctor, which maybe I should have, but in my experience, they don't really tell me anything helpful. So I'm pretty sure I have elbow bursitis. And all I've been doing is I take a lacrosse ball, put it right under my tricep, and I just extend my arm and then flex. And I just get a bunch of sets and reps of that. And then I'll do this overhead tricep stretch. And what it does is it really loosens up the tricep, brings blood to this area, and then it causes recovery in the area, which is great because where my pain is right behind the elbow here. So that's been helping a lot. So that's an easy way just to get some movement to the area. It's pain-free. If it hurt, I wouldn't be doing it, but that's been my go-to. I highly recommend you do see a PT or a doc. Don't just go and self-diagnose yourself on everything. I'm usually pretty good at it, but yeah, I don't know if everyone probably shouldn't be doing that. And then the last thing is just with rehab, when you get your exercises, stay committed to it, be consistent, don't fall off and just abandon it for a month, because that might slow your progress. And this is already a slow and frustrating process, but if you can make it that much faster, it's really nice. So the I is integrate strength. So what this one means is once you're pain-free in some of those movements, begin some light strengthening. So train around the injury, not through it. So I recently was on Instagram and got sniped by an ad for something called the Tib Bar Guys Torque Bar. And it's just basically like a thick bar, and you could put plates on the top. And you could do like pronation, supination, neutral grip, moving your wrists forward and backward. And it's been super nice for strengthening some of the small muscles around my arms and my elbow. My forearms feel stronger. And honestly, the Instagram ads did a great job. I really like the tool. And that's what I've been doing to kind of strengthen things around it. Still not doing dips or anything crazy, but in due time. So that's an example of strengthening. None of it hurts. It's pain-free again. Don't do anything that hurts. And then the T is thrive with nutrition and sleep. So I'm a huge proponent of the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of what you eat should be whole foods. So think meat, seafood, fruits. I'm not a big vegetable guy, but vegetables, if you prepare them correctly, and just whole foods, foods that come from the earth, that roam the earth, that grow from the earth. If you just eat those, you're going to be in a really good spot. You'll have low inflammation. You'll just feel a lot better. Obviously, certain things work for certain people. Where you source food matters too, but if you can just do that, you're better off than most folks, and you'll probably feel optimal other than just some small tweaking you might have to do. Other 20% is like processed foods, or like say I go to a social event and I want to have some cake for someone's birthday or something. That's what that's allocated for. But in this case with the elbow injury, I'm trying to speed it up. So now I've kind of dialed it up to 95.5, where 95% of what I eat is just good, clean foods. And it's kind of been a fun journey because I'm learning how to use those good, clean foods and make them taste better. So I'm becoming better in the kitchen. My nutrition's better, I sleep better, and I feel pretty good. Now on the sleep front, my daughter was born about a month ago, and as you can imagine, a newborn cries a lot. I've been averaging like 3 to 6 hours a night, 6 on like a really good day. So it's probably more like 4 hours a night. When I do sleep, it's really freaking good because I'm taking care of myself with nutrition, but just finding opportunities to sleep is tough. So control what you can control. If you're in my situation, I'd really focus on the food piece, just getting really good nutrition. I do think sleep is the #1 thing you can do for injury, recovery, and just your whole life, really. Everything stems from sleep. So if you can't control it, it's tough. But if you can get the other things, really good, maybe that can compensate for some bad nights of sleep. So that's what I'm doing. If you take anything away from this video, focus on your sleep. Magnesium is really nice. That helps me sleep sometimes. It's a mineral a lot of us are deficient in. Seeing the sun in the morning, seeing the sun rise, sunset, that helps a ton. Circadian rhythm. So to cap the video, injuries are opportunities to refine your game, but you need some grit to do it. Remember, the G is grapple smart, the R is restore movement, the I is integrate strength, and then the T is thrive with nutrition and sleep. Do all of those and you'll be back better than ever before.